How you doing there, everyone? Welcome to our mega live stream episode where we're going to have multiple companies and founders coming together. So it's 8 a.m. on Thursday morning. Thank you very much for joining me. And without further ado, let's jump right in and start bringing on our fellow guest founders and brands. And with that being said, company number one is... Nextweave. It'll be the future of video, meme, GIF, and picture personalization. Let me go ahead and bring up the Nextweave team with the founder of Nextweave, Inder. Say hello, Inder.
Hey, hello, everyone. How are you guys doing?
Howdy. And let me go ahead and bring on our brand ambassador, Sel Evans. Hey there.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys. All right. That being said, let me jump right into our next brand and our next team. Without further ado. Conexit, one of my favorite marketing automation platforms. Let's bring on one of the co-founders, Rakesh. Hey there.
Hi, guys.
Howdy. And I kind of want to say the company that's helped being the glue to bring all this together. That's probably the best way to describe it, right? Let me go ahead and bring them on. We have with us the founder of Astronautics, June. Say hello, June.
Hi guys, happy to be here.
Hey. I like how your background matches also like the aesthetics of our background too. It just looks perfect.
Yeah, it's very cool actually.
Okay, since we have multiple brands, let's go ahead and just jump right in and everyone start introducing each other and let's get into the nitty-gritty. So, Inder and Sel, please let's go ahead and introduce Nextweave and feel free to introduce you guys at the same time too.
Okay, I'll let Inder go first.
So I'll keep this short and I'll probably ask Sel to do a short intro of the platform, just to give you guys a broad idea of what we do. Nextweave is a platform that allows you to create personalized images, GIFs, interactive videos, which can then be pushed across your sales funnel. Could be emails, landing pages, chatbots, pop-ups, etc. And we've got Miss Evans over here, who's been an avid user of the platform, and she's been tuning up the nitty-gritties to showcase some of the cool aspects of the platform. So over to you, Sel.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so one of my favorite parts about Nextweave is the fact that you are able to kind of intertwine it with the different platforms that you already use. So if you use Texaw, if you bought some of these other lifetime deals, Texaw, email marketing, whatever else that is that you bought, you can generally make Nextweave kind of the center point of all of that. So, I mean, there's going to be in the future, hopefully native integrations with most of these platforms. But for now, you can kind of force it, is what I call forcing it. Force it. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys one of the examples that I was given. I was given the request to do one for Mooseend. So I'm going to show you guys today how to get the platform to kind of work within Mooseend if you're using that platform for email marketing. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's start there. Okay, that's this one. Okay, can you guys see it?
Yes, it is. Bring.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so this is the person who asked. The person who asked, his name was Philip, so I decided to kind of make him my default here. So anytime you're creating something within Nextweave, you're usually going to start. I usually like to start with my thumbnail, and then I move on to whatever template I'm going to use for my video. But I like to use the same variables for the thumbnail that I use for the video. It just makes things easier for me. So here you'll see that I used one of the really good stock ones that they have in the library. I used it here. I put my defaults in here, including I used his profile picture here. for the product, because it just so happened to be a product, so it worked out well. Okay, so I just created this as my thumbnail. So once you create your thumbnail, you're going to generate the link. So once you generate this link, you'll notice that if you're using a custom domain, you'll have your custom domain in there. One really important thing to know is this particular one is going to have the personalization on the defaults that you used here. So you're going to want to replace those with your tags, okay, before you actually use this. So you're going to replace these personalizations. So you'll see like fill up here, you'll see the product and all those things. So you're going to want to replace those with the tags. Once you replace those with the tags, you're going to put that into your template for your video. Okay, so now I'm going to go over here to the video we're going to use, and we're going to use this one here. So once you're ready and you have your template available and ready to go, you're going to go over here to define meta on your video, and you're going to turn around and you're going to use that thumbnail here to create that personalized preview image. Okay, here you're also going to want to create the, basically the whole social preview. So you're going to want to put a title, the description, and it really conveniently puts all the tags over here on the side for you to be able to use them very easily when you're doing this part. So I really like that you guys put that there. Thank you. So once you've done all of this, okay, because obviously by now, hopefully everybody already knows how to create the video. Hopefully everybody already knows how to create the thumbnails, and now we're showing you how to put it all together. So once you've put this all together, one really, really, really important thing to do is you're going to go over to Moosend or whatever platform it is that you are using. And you're going to take these variables and you're going to create them as variables in your platform. Okay, so you're going to go on over here. And for Moosend, I believe it's under mailing lists. So under mailing list, you're going to go, I created one last night. I don't use Moosend, so I created one for this demonstration. And then you're going to go into the list that you're going to use, and you're going to go to custom fields. So here under custom fields, you're going to go ahead and you're going to create a custom field for each of the variables that you're using in your campaign. If it were me, I'd want to use very similar variables every time I created a campaign to make this a little easier. Because later what you can do is you can create automations to update these fields for you depending on what the campaign is, right? So if you always have, like for instance, if you always have sales, right, then they're always going to be like a product URL, a product picture. There's always going to be a discount percentage. There's always going to be a page URL, those type of things. You want to create those variables, and then you can always create automations later using Conexit or whatever to update those variables depending on your promotion. That would make it faster. So this is just the initial setup. So once you have all the variables in your email marketing system and they're ready to be filled, you're going to go in here and you're going to create a campaign within Nextweave. And you see here, I created a Moosend example campaign here. Okay, so most of you, if you've already run a campaign, you know that you pretty much you start the campaign. I'll go ahead and go through the steps here. Okay, you can add a description if you would like. From here, you're going to select whatever campaign it is, that campaign type you want. I usually do video image, but you can choose singularly if you only want the video and you only want the image. And then you're going to choose which template you want, which is for me the last one I made. The video thumbnail, and then the video image. The image template. Okay. So once you've done that, you're going to select whether or not you want the image on your own domain, or if you want it on the default Nextweave domain. I always select my own domain. I always select my own domain there as well. So this embed code here is a little bit important. So before you even move on to the next step, you're going to want to hit get embed code right here. Okay, so this guy here has your email embed code. So this is what you're going to use. But you'll notice, and this actually took me a second, you'll notice that this is actually generic. So you have to actually put in your links where it says links here. This is actually generic. So you're going to want to put in here where it says links, that's actually your video link that goes there. And then where it says image source, that's going to be your image preview link that goes there. So you created variables. So what you're going to do is you're going to replace this with the variables that you created in your email marketing system. So it's going to be important to understand how your email marketing system uses the variables. So like, for instance, I use Active Campaign. So it does like the percentage sign, first name, percentage sign, right? I think in MooseSend during my test last night, it does hashtag, whatever the tag is, hashtag. So that's what you're going to put right here. So you're not actually going to put this exactly how it is. Okay, that took me a second to figure out, Ender. But once you figure it out, everything works well from there. So you're going to replace this with your variables. Okay, and then you're just going to take this and you're going to copy code. Once you're ready for it, you're going to make sure that you upload the CSV that comes from your campaign. You're going to upload it right into your email marketing system. If you already have your, if you already have people in your mailing list, it will just update those people with the proper URLs. If you don't, then you're going to want to add an email address into that CSV before you upload it into the system, because obviously MooseSend's not going to take people without an email. Okay, so you'll see here I created deal URL, discount, all of those things. Okay, so once I put the CSV in here, then I only used 2 contacts. So once I put the CSV contact in here, I had 2 contacts in here who all had their deal URL, their discount, their image link, their product image, and their video link. Okay, so from now it's kind of easy. Now you're just going to pick whatever template it is that you want to use. And you see here I created a little bit of a test campaign. You're going to select whichever one you want to use, and I used the little Happy Valentine's Day one. Of course I did, guys. It's February. What were you expecting? So then take me to editor. This is very different than my own email marketing system. So now you want to show me a quick guide. Okay, so you'll see here once you pop it in there, you'll be able to see it. I didn't use the little play icon to make sure that people knew it's a video. So make sure you use a play icon so people know to click on it. Very important to do. But by the time I finished this test, it was a little late, so I went to bed. Okay, so, but that's what you're going to want to do is go ahead and put the play icon on there so that they know to click on it. But this is our example, and you can see it works just fine in MooseSend. And then now you can probably set up automations in the background that when certain things trigger, you can update those variables within MooseSend, because MooseSend is very integration friendly. I've seen it almost everywhere. So very good platform to be working in for these type of things. So you can always have it to where when you're running a sale or when you're doing this or when you're doing that. And I saw that Nextweave is going to be doing a Google integration. That'll be awesome for being able to trigger these types of automations to update the variables based off of what you want to happen. So that is my demonstration for today. Hope it was helpful to anybody who's trying to use this with email marketing before we have a native integration. So you're just going to create the variables in your email marketing system, and you're going to make sure that all of the links and embed codes are replaced with all the variables accordingly. So once you have it down, I mean, it's one of those things that's not really intuitive per se, but I think once you see it, because they have lots of documentation if you go search for it, once you see it done once, you can kind of figure out how to change it a little bit towards your email marketing system.
And I have to say, not only do I appreciate it that you come attacking this or looking at this from a marketing and automation perspective, and you weave Nextweave into that, pun intended, but you also attack this from a different point of view, and I want to highlight this really quick. Can I say that I appreciate that you look at this coming from a creative aspect? You know, it's somewhat technical, but creative, A. B, you are a woman working in the marketing field. And that's not something that we find or encounter, that someone who's a woman in the marketing field is familiar with the tech, is familiar with startups, and it's like, wow, this is totally refreshing.
I'm a unicorn.
It's a different dynamic, right? So in
Yes.
a way, I want to say thank you, and I appreciate that you are like literally showing, look, anyone could literally do this,
Yes.
right? It's not something difficult or overwhelming, and for that I say thank you, because to me, I mean, like, I get this, right? But I understand not everybody does, and you provide a different perspective. So kudos to you. Thank you, and I appreciate that totally.
Thank you. I appreciate your appreciation.
I say that too. That's funny. That's funny.
All right.
Just to extend that smile further, I'm going to share something on the screen.
Okay.
So while she was explaining the entire, she was going through the demonstration, she mentioned how she had to put in various variables to make it work.
Sure.
So I'm going to just show you guys a glimpse of the update that's going to come in soon, which will just take away all that effort, and you will get the embed code with all the parameters. Let me
So
just share my screen.
There we go. Got it. Excellent.
Yes. So we actually received a lot of feedback on that particular step. So we've gone ahead and split the configure and the activate section. While you enter in the name of the campaign, select the type, enter the media formats, etc., etc. We've added one more step called activate, where once you've put in the details, you'll be able to get the embed code, and then you'll be able to get the embed code for a specific platform.
Yay! That's amazing. Thank you for that.
So
Saves
now,
so much
irrespective of absolutely. So now, irrespective of how many variables you're using, you can just switch the platform over here to some other platform. Let's say if I want to use it with Kirim, I can just plug in the variables that they've got and generate an embed code. And this embed code is going to be modified for that particular platform. And now you just have to go and copy and paste this code in the email platform and run that piece instead of taking all the effort that Ms. Evans just took to make it work.
That's amazing. And now I'm curious. I want to see you scroll down the whole list so I can see what was there. Scroll down real slow so I can see what was there.
Very slowly.
So I won't be revealing the list over here right now, but all I can tell you is about 20 of them are going to go live in a couple of weeks, or maybe even earlier.
I saw a couple. I won't name them out, but I saw a couple on there. Okay.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much. On that being said, let's go ahead and jump in onto our next founder, Rakesh from Conexit. It's one of my favorite automation platforms. I mentioned this last week. The UI is very simple. It's very fast to use, but friendly too, right? You're not stuck using drop-down menu after drop-down menu on something like Zapier if you want to have something simple yet complex at the same time. Rakesh, go ahead and take it away. Let's show them how much I love Conexit for a reason.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Thanks for the intro, and thanks, guys. You've shown the dynamic of Nextweave as well. And yeah, just to give a brief introduction about Conexit, it's an automation tool. So where we actually integrate between the different apps. So you just need to drag and drop between the apps and connect between the nodes to integrate between different apps, basically. So I will just show you a brief use case, which is actually requested from one of our user, I can say. So I'm going to share my screen.
Got it?
So
perfect.
Yeah, I'll be jumping on to create the use case. So I'll be creating the connect. And the use case is whenever there is a payment happened inside any payment gateway. So I'm just going to take Razorpay as a payment gateway. So it's an Webhook enabled app. So I just drag and drop Razorpay and select the event basically. So I just select as payment capture and copy the link and paste inside Razorpay. So I have to go to settings. Sorry for this.
Yeah, no worries. We'd rather have you have security as opposed to no security at all. So don't even worry about it.
So I just select paste my webhook URL and select the events, and I'm just saving the webhook URL. And now I go to Conexit to capture the webhook response from Razorpay. And now I will be sending using an payment pages and sending a data from Razorpay. And I just fill the form. I'm going to select the payment option. So this will basically send data to Conexit. So it will be instantaneous. So we'll be receive the data from Razorpay. So you can see that. So we receive all the user details and the payment method with the user details. So now I'm going to Nextweave to create a personalized, response. So this was a use case where user asked me whenever there is a payment happen. So we have to generate an ID card, basically a digital ID card, I can say. So I'll just show you. I think Shelly has explained you how to create an template basically. So in Nextweave. So I'm just show you this is my template. Basically, I'm creating an ID card, student identification card, with the variables. That is one is the name, and that is username, and the email and date of issue. So these are the three variables I'm just using inside Nextweave to create an template. This is an identification card. So now I'm going to select the same card. So I'm selecting the action and choose the template, that is a demo school ID card. So I got this variables. So now I use the data which I got it from Razorpay and just connect between the nodes. So I'll be connecting from email to email feed, and that's it. So I basically use my phone number as issued it at this moment. So this will generate an image URL from Nextweave. That's a personalized experience. So this we will be receiving it from as an image link. So that will be available in the additional attributes. So I can select that. So now I will be using Google Sheet to store the records from Razorpay, and that's a payment gateway, and also the Nextweave. That's an customized response which I'm receiving it. So I'm going to select my account and select the action as create spreadsheet row and select the sheet. So and basically I'll be selecting between the nodes. I just connect between the nodes, the name field and the phone number, email, and the image link which I generated from Nextweave. So I'm gonna store this record inside a Google Sheet. So I'll just click on test and review. So this is my sheets. Yes, you can see. So immediately the record will be populated with all my details. So now I'm going to use formatter to merge all this data. So this was a use case basically I received from one of the user. So I'm just going to demonstrate the same thing. So I will be merging the records and connecting the name and the image link which I generated from Nextweave. And I'll be using this HTML code. So this is just a basic code. So here I will be selecting the attributes, that is first name and also the image link. So I'll be choosing an image link which I generated from Nextweave. So this says like this: a first name, welcome to the demo school, and with the image link basically. So I'll click on validate, and now I use a Gmail to send an email. Choose my account, and I'll select the trigger as send email, and I need to select the content type as HTML because I'm just using the HTML content here. So I'll just connect this to the body, and also I'll connect between the email which I received from my payment gateway. And I will add as a customer subject line. I'll click on test and review. So this will send an email with all the records. So with the customized image as well. So that we will be received in my email. Yes, this is the email I just received. So you can see it has given me the link and also with the ID card, basically which we generated from Nextweave. So this is the ID card. So this is the email which I received it. So now I'm going to go ahead and publish my connect. So whenever user actually made a purchase now, so as per our connect, so we will be generating an personalized experience inside Nextweave and store the records inside Google Sheet and send them a welcome email with their digital ID card. So this was a use case requested by one of our users. So I just demonstrated it, and I will give this link to all the users so they can this is just a test purchase, so you guys can go ahead and try this link. Probably, yeah, Bruce, I'll just share that link and comment. So
Perfect. I appreciate that. I had a quick question from Henny Fowd, who's asking, is Conexit based on Webhook technology?
yes, we are best of both worlds. We support Webhook and also the API module as well.
Perfect. So, Hanny, to answer your question, it's not only Webhook. Yes, it's Webhook, but it also includes APIs as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
it makes it a little bit more robust at that point. Instead of being the simple Webhook library, you can actually have complex workflows because they're also introducing APIs as well. Rakesh, if you introduce a company's API, does it make it more difficult or does it take longer for you to integrate with them as opposed just to applying standard webhooks?
No, means see webhooks again. Even though we are using the API module, so we will be using the same method rather than the polling option. So it will be considered that in a webhook method itself, but it makes a user job easier. They don't need to go ahead and paste the webhook URL by themselves, and we will be automated that using this API. So everything will happen in backend, and it makes the user job easier, we can say.
Got it. Okay,
So
totally makes sense.
those are the authorized apps inside Conexit.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I didn't know that myself. I've seen other companies come up and simply be libraries for webhooks, right? But it's not often that you also see them handle APIs. And I wasn't sure, is it more difficult to, integrate with a company if they have their own set of APIs? Another question is it more beneficial if a company has APIs as opposed to webhooks? Does that give the consumer of Conexit more advanced integrations or more advanced workflows?
Means to just to clear that, I see Webhook is a part to initiate your trigger. So where you're sending, so every app should has both the things, webhooks and the API. It is just an automating and enable part where we will avoid one step to an user. So where whenever they authorize the app, so we will just enable the webhook by ourselves. So that is something each and every apps will be having both webhook and API. So all the apps will have both basically. So it is not that like webhook is for triggers and API is for actions. We can say so. All the left hand side apps which will be basically an webhook thing, and all the right hand side actions you will be seeing it will be an API actions basically.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And we actually had a question come up, Harsh, and this is going to be for everyone here. Can I send customized videos on WhatsApp using Nextweave and Conexit?
At this moment, you can able to send customized images using Nextweave and Conexit WhatsApp messages using WA API. I think we are going to launch soon by sending in customized videos as well.
Now, I'll put this out there, and then Indra, this goes for you too. Couldn't we send technically customized videos in the form of a link using Bot Baba? That's our other partner today who couldn't make it, unfortunately. So hopefully you get better, and we'll see you soon. And we include, let's say lead capture that's funneled in from Conexit into Nextweave, and then Nextweave distributes it to Bot Baba so it could be sent to a WhatsApp chat. And it's simply just like a URL. And so when someone clicks on the URL, they get access or they enter into a personalized video experience.
Yes, exactly. So the thing is that any videos that you're serving on WhatsApp, it takes out a lot of the player functionality. That's why sometimes when someone has shared a YouTube video on WhatsApp, you won't see any advertisements, any nudges appear on that. However, like Bruce mentioned, you can serve links on WhatsApp which have a social preview, and that social preview can carry a personalized image with a play icon, so that when the user clicks on it, he'll be taken to the particular video and he can watch it over there.
Yeah, link is possible even now as well. We can send the link now itself. Even the video link is possible to send.
Perfect. So Harsh, to answer your question, yes, with this bundle, you can send personalized, customized, and interactive videos using Nextweave, Conexit, and Bot Baba to a WhatsApp destination. So to answer your question, yes, it is possible to do that specifically with this bundle. And that specific use case is kind of the reason why we wanted this bundle to come together, because we understand that it's not the most easiest thing to do, like WhatsApp marketing. But we understand, outside of the United States, WhatsApp is really prevalent, and we wanted to come up with a way to have personalized interactive video experience or personalized image experience. And that's kind of what caused us to bring all this together. And so that being said, let's talk about the glue that brings all this together, June. So back me up on this a little bit, right? It did kind of come out that way. That was just like one of the use cases that we were discussing prior to us even doing the first like mega stream together.
Yeah, absolutely. And for us, as Astronautics ourselves, we wanted to, because we're only 4 months old, and we wanted to ramp up our email marketing, and we're just trying to get creative with it. I've known Inder since the product was in alpha. Rakesh has been a good friend, and of course Pratik, who's not here right now, but he's the founder of Bot Baba. We have his deal running on our side as well, and we were just running through ideas, and we were just like, we wanted to do something creative, something different. And we work with a lot of SaaS tools in the first place, so we figured why not reach out to them. Of course, Bruce helped us get all of this put together, and so that's why we have all of us here on every Thursday, and we have the deal running currently. on our website. Yeah, it's crazy and it's awesome. And yeah, I can share. Yeah. So everyone watching in, we saw these examples with Cell, Inder, Rakesh. If Pratik was here, he would have showed us some really cool stuff. I wish I could do it. I'm technically dumb, so I, I can't really do it. But we have our team working on a lot of cool stuff. So on our deal page, I can run through some of the features that are there, how you can access or how you can purchase. And we do have a lifetime access to both Nextweave, to BotBaba, and with Conexit, we have a highly discounted annual deal, which is super affordable. And you'd have to switch over. Whatever other integration and automation tools you're using, you saw it, right? Bruce saw it. Everyone watching saw it. It is drag and drop, super easy. Just connect the dots and you're done. Set it and forget it, right? So if it's all right with you guys, I can share the deal page, run through it real quick.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because people are going to be interested in the bundle. Most people are used to buying one product at a time. The reason why we brought this together and we discussed this kind of like with June, we wanted to offer something different, but a complete all-in-one solution, right? If you buy like a marketing automation platform, something like and Rakesh, forgive me for mentioning a competitor, but everyone knows Zapier, right? Everyone just knows Zapier. But Zapier doesn't work without having another tool to connect into it. It just doesn't. It's just like the middleman, right? And Inder, kind of where we discussed, that's where the current status of the platform is as middleware today. That will change in the future. But the idea is, again, you need another tool to make it work. So it just made sense that we had this as a bundled option, where we have also BotBaba as a destination, right? As our bot partner. But technically, instead of BotBaba, you could use any destination like an email marketing tool, literally anything else like a landing page tool. The reason why I say that is because we wanted to show you guys what an example of a full-featured ecosystem in a 3-piece bundle would look like. And so, by the way, this also answers Hui Truong's question, can we use Nextweave with SendSpark? It was like, so technically you could. Yes, technically you could. That's totally doable. But that SendSpark's not one of our partners, but yes, that is possible. Just FYI, yes. And June, let's go ahead and have you take it away on the pricing page.
All right. Let me just share my screen real quick.
Sure.
All right. Actually, by the way, I had this open because I don't have, it's not completely set up. You can see here, it's pretty convoluted. We're working on this. We're using Conexit to connect with our email marketing platform. We're using Mautic, and Mautic is available on Conexit, and we're in the process of setting this up. We're not going to be done with everything by tomorrow, but we'll have the basic sequences. For example, one I really want set up is a welcome sequence with new signups, and another awesome one, which really helps boost. I mean, if you run e-commerce, or anything like that, abandoned cart recovery, abandoned cart emails with Nextweave's personalization. You can personalize your coupon or discount codes, try to drive them back into your shop. So stuff like this, really cool. And then I just want to scroll down real quick because with BotBaba, Facebook Messenger is coming soon. I think it's ETA is around March. And we have push notifications is already live in BotBaba. And of course, SMS and WhatsApp. So we are going to be running through this. Stay tuned. Not tonight, but as soon as we have at least the first 2 sequences done, we'll do some walkthrough videos and get some more information out there on how we did it, why we did it, and a few weeks later, how well we did it or how it's changed some of the metrics that we measure. So anyway, so here we are. This is the deal page. It's astronautics.com/nextconbot, next for Nextweave, con for Conexit, and bot for BotBaba. I think I left it in the comments. Bruce, you have it running on the bottom of the screen, so if you guys are interested, take a look. So I'm going to scroll down real quick. Yes, 3 deals in one, and all 3 deals in this bundle, if you purchase it through this bundle, are discounted around, I think it's around 30% each, right? So you are getting the best of the best and the best discount here, and the fact that it's lifetime access for a one-time price, except Conexit, which is a heavily discounted annual deal, but it is grandfathered. So you're paying this price point for the rest of your life should you wish to continue it. So I'm going to scroll down real quick. We'll come back to these, but I wanted to go into the pricing section so you know what it looks like and the main features and limits of each product. So it's priced for a single code. Single is referring to the code. So a single code priced at $115. And the main features that people are usually looking at, so for BotBaba, you're getting 1 bot, Conexit, you're getting 4,000 tasks or operations per month. And with Nextweave, we have 1,000 credits per month. And we can stack it up to 10 codes. So I'm just going to pull that up real quick. And at 10 codes, it's $1,150. But with BotBaba, you're getting 200 chatbots. Conexit, 40,000 tasks or operations per month. And Nextweave, 50,000 credits per month. Now, what that exactly means, if we scroll up, and so can you guys see my screen clearly? Because some of these are it's pretty tight on the screen, right?
Yeah, it is. It is rather. The font is rather tiny.
Okay, let me pull it up as an image. So we'll go through from Nextweave first, and I'll just zoom in on it. Give me a quick second.
Appreciate that. Thank you. In the process, let me go ahead and have a comment come up. I would like to use one image and generate several ones with one phone, name, logo. How would be the best way to do this? I have 20 plumbers, for example, and I would use some images. I would like to use several, and each a different company phone name could, with company phone, logo, and some text. That's maybe could be spun. Yeah, that's totally doable. That's totally doable. We'll discuss that after we have June do the walkthrough on the plans here.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I have it pulled up. I'm going to zoom in real quick. This is for Nextweave, and it's, of course, 1 code to 10 codes. All of the other deals or the products that we are going to show for the features, the limits, and what each code pertains to will be shown like this. And maybe I can call on Inder for a little bit of help on defining what exactly is 1 credit. But let me just zoom in really quick and see how that looks on mobile. All right, I think that's good. Let me know if it's too small. I'll zoom in a little more, but I'm pretty zoomed in already. All right, so with the single code, again, we saw it was 1,000 credits per month. Now, when we look at the video, I'll go up to the 10 code in a second, but with the 1 code, we're going down this column right here, up to 60 seconds at 720p. Media storage at 500 megabytes, campaigns up to 10 campaigns, and with the users, it is a single user account. And it says 115, but don't forget, this is also including BotBaba and Conexit. We'll run into those really quick in a second. And Inder, can I call on you for some? What exactly is a single credit in Nextweave?
Sure, June. So a single credit is equivalent to either 1 video view or 4 GIFs or 20 images.
Okay,
so
awesome.
The way that works is that, as an example, let's say we take the same one that Ms. Evans was using. If you're sending out an image in the email which connects to, let's say, a video, then if that campaign entailed, let's say, an outreach to 1,000 individuals, and out of those 1,000, if 100 of them open those emails, then 100 by 20, which is 5 credits, are going to be used for all those emails that were viewed. And say out of those 100, half of them went ahead and watched the video. Then for every individual who watched the video, it will be consuming 1 credit. So what we can do is that we can have an illustration added to the page which explains how each of these credits are being monetized, so that it's a lot more easier for people to understand how that can happen.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And so depending on your use case or your audience size or your near future audience size, if we're going to scroll straight up to 10 codes. So we looked at the 1 code, it's 1,000 credits per month for Nextweave. And we saw the videos, the limits on the storage, and how many campaigns we can run into. Actually, before I move on, how about campaigns, by the way, Inder?
Yes, so campaigns are active campaigns. So what a campaign allows you to do is connect multiple templates together. So taking the same example, if you want to have a personalized image in your email and you want to connect it to a personalized video which is shown on your landing page, a campaign allows you to stitch them together, and then you can activate that particular flow where the sequence is going to be followed. So depending on how many codes you will purchase, there is a limit on the number of active campaigns that you can have, and that keeps scrolling up depending on the number of codes you buy.
All right. So I'm going to jump because we have 10 codes. It's going to take a bit to go through each and every one, but they do go up. The higher the number of codes you purchase, the better deal you do get. So let's go right across up to the 10 code plan. And let me zoom in on that for you guys. So with the 10 code plan, we are looking at a price point of $1,150, but the differences being 50,000 instead of 1,000 credits per month. You now have 50,000 credits per month. And now we saw earlier in the one code, in the single code, we had 60 seconds at 720p. We now have 90 seconds at 720p, but we also have up to 60 seconds at 1080p with 10 gigabytes of storage, up to 250 campaigns instead of 10. And instead of a single user, we now have 25 users and agency branding. So with agency branding, I know a lot of people, and now I'm also an agency owner myself. A lot of people will have questions about this. So what exactly does agency branding mean here for Nextweave?
Sure. So with agency branding, you would have your own custom login page, which can carry your own logo, your custom domain, and users can log in through that particular section. Once they log into the platform, instead of the Nextweave logo, it will include that particular brand's logo. Along with that, all the image and video links will carry the custom domain the way Ms. Evans just demonstrated today. So these are the initial set of agency features that we're launching with. And later on, we'll also be giving you the option of connecting your platform to a custom SMTP so that you can start sending emails from the platform yourselves as well.
Wow. Oh, wow. All right. So with agency branding and the reference to 10 users or 25 users for the 10 code plan, this is not just team members. These are actual sub accounts. Is that right?
So we're going to be permitting about up to 10 sub accounts on the agency plan. There are higher plans as well, but those are beyond the 10 code stacks. We go up 25 codes. So for those details, you can check out our LTD landing page. But with the 10 code stack, you'll be getting 10 sub accounts. So you can split those 25 users into those 10 sub accounts the way you want. With the 25 code stack, however, you get 50 sub accounts and 250 users. So you'll be able to distribute them fairly well across those 50 sub accounts.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that. All right. Let me switch back to the deal page. So that was Nextweave. And again, one code purchase of this collaboration deal is equal to one code of BotBaba, one code of Conexit, or one account of BotBaba, one account of Conexit, one account of Nextweave. So I want to show a little bit about Conexit as well. Let me just pull. I'm going to have to pull that up again. Give me a quick second, and I'll zoom in for you guys. All right. Again, it's the same deal. One code to 10 codes, and we're going to go through all this, but we'll stick to the single and 10 because there's going to be a lot of time to go through all of these. And with Conexit, at the single code, we have 4,000 tasks or operations monthly, and you'll run through the number of connects. It's unlimited connects, actually, from the single code all the way through, and intervals of 5 minutes, and a lot more down here. Rakesh, can I call on you for a question about what exactly is a task or an operation here at Conexit?
Okay, thanks for bringing that in. See, monthly task or operations is all about whatever your trigger, that is your first app. So we are not counting that as any task or operations, and consider that whatever the apps you will be using on right hand side. So we will be considering those apps as task, and also inbuilt apps, kind of text formatter. All this we will be considering it as an operations. So that will be if you can see that, like whatever the first app you will be adding, will not be counting that. Rest all apps will be counting as task or operations.
Awesome. Yeah, is that the same for all the automation or integration tools that are out there, similar to Conexit, where they don't classify the first app or the trigger?
Yeah, all the other apps, even they don't count the triggers. Basically, they will be counting the next actions itself.
Okay. All right, and I'm gonna jump right up to the 10 code stack over here, and with the 10 code stack, let me just zoom in a little bit more. Now with the connects, I think that is the term that you guys use. The connects, as you can see, this is the row here.
Yeah, that will be unlimited. It's kind of an unlimited workflows. There is no limit for the workflows you will be building.
But it is dependent. Obviously, the connects are unlimited, but you are limited by the number of tasks or operations. So with the 10 code stack, you have 40,000 monthly, and the intervals are the same, and the rest are same across the board. Am I correct?
Yeah, same thing.
All right. So the biggest differentiator between all the codes for Conexit would be the number of tasks that you need to run or you want to be running very soon. And then I want to jump right into the last deal. Pratik is not here, so I will try to fill in for him. Let me just pull that up again as an image. Give me a quick second. All right. Yeah, you guys know the deal. It's 1 to 10 codes. We're going to zoom in on the single plan. That's the 1 code plan up until the 10 code plan. So with the single plan on BotBaba, we have unlimited chats, unlimited impressions. We don't have custom domain for webbots. That starts at 2 codes. Brand removal that you don't have for the single plan or the single code. That starts over here by 4 codes. Sub accounts as well starts at the 4 codes. And custom branding also starts at the 4 codes. The biggest differentiator between all the codes are the number of bots. And you'll see these bots, the number of bots start to increase as you buy more codes. But the thing with the bots is, this question comes up often is, yeah, it is, for example, with a single code, yeah, it is a single chat bot, but it also depends on how convoluted your flows are. So if you have a really long convoluted flow, and technically, yeah, that is one chatbot, but it's not just for one platform or one use case. For example, you can pick up off in the flow at a certain point, a different point than the start point that you've set up for, say, your one of your web bots. And so if you start off another chatbot somewhere else at a different point of the flow chart or the chat flow, that's still calculated as one bot. So technically, it could be a lot more bots than you think. Plus, you have the unlimited chats and the unlimited impressions across the board. I'm going to scroll right through over to the 10 code stack. The 10 code stack check marks all the way down. And the only difference would be the 200 bots. So just to refresh our memory, check marks all the way down for the 10 code stack. That is custom domain for web bots, brand removal for web bots, sub accounts, and custom branding for web bots. Now, with 200 bots available at the 10 code stack. So just to wrap things up, I'm going to scroll back down to the pricing. And again, if you do get to our site and you're on mobile, you can zoom in on the mobile screen, but you can also open up the image by clicking on it or tapping on it and zoom in from there as well. Because as you can see, with 10 codes around, it is quite a bit to look across. But in the pricing section where you want to see the numbers, how much you need to pay, we have the biggest, as I mentioned earlier, the biggest differentiators. BotBaba starting at 1 bot for a single code, 4,000 monthly tasks or operations for Conexit at a single code, and 1,000 credits per month for a single code for Nextweave. And again, a single code is a single code for BotBaba, Conexit, and Nextweave, all 3 of them. But yeah, that would wrap it up from my end. But yeah, if you want to check it out, there is a banner running across the bottom of the screen you're looking at, and it is astronautics.com/nextconbot.
You'll see it coming up here on the bottom here in just a second. There you go.
All right.
Okay, we have quite a few questions, so let's go ahead and jump in and get started. But to answer Jorge's question, yes, that is totally doable. And if you're looking on having like specific workflows, that's something that we can have Ms. Evans and Ender help out with. But yes, something like that is totally possible. May I recommend that you also join our the Nextweave Facebook group. Let me go ahead and put that up on screen. Give me just one sec. And for those of you that are on your phones, you can go ahead and take a screen capture. There you go. That is the URL for the Nextweave group. So was it Jorge? Jorge, to answer your question about your specific use case, that would be a good idea to put it inside the group so the group can educate you and show you how to take advantage of the Nextweave platform and this sale to specifically fulfill your use case. And maybe sell, may do your specific use case on camera. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, next one. Joreen, and I put this up briefly. She asked, I'm amazed by how easy users will be able to perform their tasks using the combination of these powerful tools. What a great bundle. And guys, I do want to point that out too. Instead of going to like a typical marketplace, I do have to admit, I've done like more than 50 launches myself. I have to say I appreciate the fact that there's flexibility when you're not attached to a larger marketplace when it comes to, for example, doing bundles, right? It's not often. I think this is maybe the 4th or 5th bundle I've ever seen, and I happen to launch 3 of them, and this is the 5th one I've ever seen. Like that we have that flexibility where you can bring multiple companies together at the same time, from different platforms, from different founders, just to help give you like a mini ecosystem to help you out with your clients or your sales needs or your marketing needs. So yes, Joreen, I totally agree with you, and thank you for joining us today. Omar and Inder, this is for you. Does Nextweave have a training channel like Conexit?
So we do have a YouTube channel where we are uploading videos. The team has been occupied with documenting the list of integrations that you just saw. So maybe in a couple of weeks' time, we'll start converting all of them into videos and convert that into a proper training channel. But do check out the YouTube channel. It has over 10 videos explaining various use cases, and the count is only going to increase.
Perfect. I appreciate that. Let's move on down to the next one. What will happen if we hit the monthly limit for any of these tools? Does that mean the workflow will stop to work? If yes, is there an option to make it active and running?
So go ahead, Rakesh. You could probably go in first.
Okay, so we'll notify the user whenever there is a consumption of 50% or 70% task, and also they can have a top up task. They can top it up and they can use it.
So same as the case with us. When you hit 80%, you get a notification that you're about to hit your limits, and we are giving a 20% buffer. So even if you cross the 100% limit, you can go above by 20%, and that's when you'll receive the prompts for buying an add-on. And there'll be add-ons that you can purchase, so that you can probably have 1 month where you need more credits being consumed. So buy an add-on for that particular month. It will be valid for 30 days, and then you can consume those credits in that particular month and go back to your lifetime deal plan.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. Because Pratik's not here, I'll speak on behalf of Baba. But with Baba, it's relatively simple, because you saw with the unlimited chats, unlimited impressions. So you're only limited by the actual number of bots you're running. So with the single code, it's 1 bot. With the 10 code stack, it's 200 bots. But other than that, there's no real hard limits there. But if there ever was, which there aren't, but if there were, because we have multiple different Baba deals running on our site right now, they're mostly soft limits. So same way that Nextweave and Connectit has set it up. When you hit a certain point where you're using up, I think it was 70 or 80%, you'll get a notification that, hey, you only have this much left.
Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. So Facebook user, thank you very much for that. What is the annual cost or discount of Conexit after 1 year? Do you pay the code price again? For example, 1 code costs, etc., etc.
Somewhere around, I think it is coming in after 30% discount. It's somewhere around $17 probably.
That's per year, right? $17 per year for life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope that answers your question, Ross. Harsh, Rakesh, can you give some time frame when Conexit will have an integration with GrooveCart? I want to buy 2 codes of the combined deal, but my e-com store is not on GrooveCart. And that's interesting because they have been gaining a lot of momentum. I mean, it makes sense. They've been doing ads with their campaign launch for like the last 6 months. So it makes sense that they start getting some awareness and notoriety as well.
Thanks, Ash. I've been getting all these questions from GrooveCart. Definitely, our team has already taken for this integration. Probably I don't have a timeline to commit now. Definitely, I'm going to update on that part once I get complete details from my team. But already on it. Our team is already on.
Excellent. Harsh, thank you very much for the question and joining us today. And to the 50 of you, some of you on Reddit and all of you on Facebook and on YouTube, thank you for joining us today. Next question. Can we mix tools and select one and/or two, and will discounts apply when buying in bundles? Can we mix tools and select one and/or two? Oh, so you're saying instead of buying all 3 products of the bundle, can you only buy 2? No, the bundle is built specifically for 3 products, and they're sold together for all 3 products. Will discounts apply when buying in bundles? June, do you have discounts?
Yes, we do have discounts on the site, but for this specific bundle, there are no discounts available. The reason for that is because actually, Astronautics, we are not making any money on this deal. This is, a joint collaboration, and any discount that we had before. So we have some 10% welcome discounts. We had a 15% discount for all giveaway participants. We do not want to apply that to this deal because this is going straight to the founders, and we want to support them. So I don't believe it would be fair to apply the discounts we use for our own promotions on this deal itself. But I just want to say, that being said, about, this is the bundle. The bundle is, you're getting all 3 tools, all 3 of them discounted at a 30% rate. But all 3 tools are also available on their own platform. So with Nextweave, they have the deal running. Conexit also has the deal running. Baba has the deal running on our site as well. You can check that out. But yeah, you're going to get the best price. If you need all 3 of them, or you're interested in all 3 of them, this is the way to go. You're getting a 30% discount.
Cool. Thank you very much for that question, Mr. John Doe. By the way, I can't give you a shout out, and I don't know what your name is because you have not given StreamYard permission. So in the future, if you'd like to give us the ability to give you a quick shout out, you're going to go to streamyard.com/Facebook. Thank you very much for your question. All right, moving on down to the next one. Harry Chung. What will happen if we hit the monthly limits for any of the tools? Does it mean the workflow will work to stop if yes is an option, make it active and running? I think we covered that in the previous question, so I hope you were tuning in for that. Let's see. Celis Christie. Does BotBaba do live comments? And I'm assuming they're referring to like Facebook live comments or YouTube live comments. Just to be specific, BotBaba does WhatsApp, and then they have their own standalone bot platform. They don't have live commenting inside Facebook yet, but it was kind of discussed that it's one of their future roadmap networks that they do want to get into, but it's not there currently. So, June, do you have any more insight on that?
No, that's as far as I know as well. I spoke with Pratik about this, but right now the focus is on certain things. But live comments, we have spoke about it. I have to double check if it's confirmed on the roadmap. I don't want to say something that's wrong. So, but yeah, what I'll do is Celis. I know Celis, and anyone else that has that same question, what we'll do is we'll address that tomorrow when Pratik is feeling a little better, and we'll make a post about that as well.
Perfect. Appreciate that. So, Celis, please check in with us, or also check in on the NextCon bot page down below. Drop your question in there, and then just look out for the response from any of the founders or from June as well. Jorge is asking if he could do the bundle. He's probably interested on the 10 stack. Make it with payment installments.
Yeah. So this was we had a few requests, and then this request balloons, and we had way too many. There was no way we couldn't do split payments. They probably would have formed a mob or something. So anyway, we have announced it. We are doing split payments. The only thing is this: we don't have enough time to actually develop it on the into our cart system. So what we're doing is, if I think it was Jorge, if you want to get it, but you want to use split payments, we have 2 options right now. Well, first of all, split payments are available for price points over $500. So from $500 and up, you can apply or request for a split payment. The 2 types of split payments that we're doing are 50% now, 50% in a month, and then the other option is three split payments, right? So that would be 90 days. Just shoot an email to support@astronautics.com, and we'll sort you out.
Perfect. Great question. So, is that for anyone else who might be interested? Can they do that on a one-to-one basis with you guys too?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Right now they can, and then we want to see, as long as we don't have a lot of problems with the split payments. What we're going to do is we're just going to develop it into our cart system. So all deals in the future will continue to have that split payment option without manual invoicing.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Yep. Appreciate it. Let's see, moving on down to the next question, and thank you, Celis, for that. So, Hui Trong, I already have both Nextweave and BotBaba for the combo, before the combo deal was made available. The only thing I don't have is Connectit. What options are available to me? Guys, I'll take this one real quick. Hui, may I recommend that you contact Conexit privately or June privately, and then see what can be done there, because you might be one of the few exceptions. Unless anyone else who has that same type of concern, you've bought both Nextweave and BotBaba in the past, please contact June, and June will maybe set up a chat and see what can be done for you. There you go. Appreciate that. And thank you for investing in our other founders, Mr. Pratik from BotBaba and Inder and Ashtosh from Nextweave. There you go. Last one we have right now, we're looking at one. Will the founders continue to innovate the ecosystem between the apps after the deal is done? Valid question. Very valid question. Is there any conversation around that? Yes, Juan, let's talk about it. So I guess it usually also begs the question to ask, are you guys building other apps after this? Because usually when that is on the roadmap, you usually let the first baby to the side and you stop developing, right? And that's a common question. That's thanks JVZoo, right? Thanks JVZoo for giving us that aura of negativity. But it's a valid question. Are there other apps that you guys are building? And if so, does that mean that this first platform that you guys have is going to be set to the wayside? And here's the other thing. A lot of founders, and I'll play the hard question like a typical journalist, right? A lot of founders will always say, this is our first priority. This is the only thing that we're launching. Well, what happens when you launch a second one, right? That's number one. From a founder's perspective, what do you say or address to that? Number two, let's say you're not building a second platform, and this is the only one you will ever have for the next, let's say, 5 years. That's a good enough amount of time. At what point do you say, okay, I'm going to stop developing it and I'm going to move on to something else? Or do you guys see yourselves developing this furthermore? By the way, that was question number two. So let's start off with question number one, regarding priorities, and do you have a second product on the roadmap? So how does that interfere with continuing to develop your platforms further?
So yeah,
Rakesh,
thanks. Yeah, thanks, Juan. Thanks for bringing that question. Indeed, it's a great question. And Bruce, actually, I understand in a different way first initially. So I thought it is between the BotBaba, Nextweave, and Conexit. Maybe that integration one is all discussing about. If that is so, at Conexit we always look for deeper integration. So even though with all the number of apps, so definitely we will be keep updating our deep integrations apps even inside Nextweave and Conexit, and we love to do that, and we update the apps regularly based on the user requests as well. So we keep adding those integrations in that aspects. And to answer Bruce's questions, yes, Bruce, that is the reason. Conexit is an yearly deal. You can see that you can pay us as long as we perform. So that's what we always stood for, and we always look forward for it. So yeah, we love keep adding things and make our tool more and more. So more and more productive, or more and more interactive. So that is when when we perform, so you pay for it. So that's the reason we are in a yearly deal as well.
Good answer regarding the yearly deal. Okay, Inder, your turn.
Yeah, so since I come from the product management background, and I was watching the SaaS space for about 4 years before we built this particular product, we wanted to make something which would fit in a very large ecosystem. Hence, Nextweave has been built in such a structure that you can plug it into a variety of email marketing platforms, chat platforms, pop-ups, landing pages, etc., etc. And I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but in terms of interactive video that's personalized, we are probably one of the handful of platforms that are out there. I'm not just referring to the lifetime deal segment, but even across other software segments. And our goal of bringing this particular tool forward was that we give you a personalization suite which encompasses not just videos, but also images, GIFs, landing pages, so that anything that you want to do in personalization is going to be happening from the Nextweave ecosystem itself. And as you must have seen, we're just getting started. So there's a long way ahead for us. And since I've been in the product management space, we have always focused on building one product at a time. And that's the same ideology that we're going to be continuing over here. We'll have a lot of integrations coming in. We'll have native integrations as we move forward, but we're going to be focused only on the personalization space.
Okay, so that answers question number one. And then question number two, right? So let's say 5 years from now, you do have another platform. How does that directly, or another product, right? How will that affect your relationship or your development with the first platform?
So we've not really thought about any other platform as such. The easiest way that I had heard most of the people is that if you're entering into the SaaS space, pick up a solution that's already out there and try to make it a lot more democratized. But we've taken a different route altogether. We picked up something which we found as a gap, and now we want to build depth into that. So unlike so our platform is not any other email platform or any other landing page platform. It has a distinct identity by itself. And some of them have also mentioned that the more we educate them about various use cases, there'll be a lot more that you can do with the same platform itself.
Yep.
So I can't really comment about what's going to happen 5 years from now, but I can clearly see a roadmap that's going to extend for the next 3 years.
So I like the idea about education. When even I was not sure when that ID card thing, which has been recommended by an user. So when user asked me that particular thing, so I thought, okay, I can do the same use case using Nextweave. So that's when it comes up. So the more you educate, there are a lot of things or a lot of use cases you can build upon.
In fact, I'll touch upon something very interesting that happened last week itself. We got a couple of requests where someone wants to do a personalized T-shirt business. And he said that, can this be extended to that, where I can get personalized graphics done for a variety of individuals whom I want to make T-shirts for. And in the same week, someone came up with another request where they wanted these images to be put up into children's storybooks. So within the personalization space, we're just talking about digital products right now. But there is a larger segment in terms of physical products where the two can come together as well. So there's a lot to be done. We are also learning as we go along. And I don't think we have to worry about anything else for the next 3 to 5 years at least.
Perfect. Glad to hear that. We have one last question that came in at the very end, and then we'll use this one to call it a day. So Siddhartha asks, what are the limitations in terms of capabilities, not referring to term limits or impression limits, for the tools coming with the bundle? Also the weaknesses regarding the competitors. So we did address that last week. One, say, for example, would be Conexit. Conexit's plan is based on an individual, not on a team plan. So that's one benefit. Number two, when it came to limitations of competitors, well, we could go right into that when we're talking about, let's say, Nextweave. And I'll give you Conexit in just a sec. When we're talking about competitors to Nextweave, have fun finding someone else that does video personalization and interactive, right? And then you could apply that onto an email embed, or it has a Google Chrome extension, or that it has a specific landing page, which the capabilities of that landing page will expand further. Yeah, have fun trying to find an alternative that does all of that. The closest thing you have is maybe some photo personalization platforms, but they don't have landing pages. They may have photo embeds and white label, which is something that Nextweave will obviously have, but they don't have video personalization. And even if they do, they don't have landing pages. Or they don't have memes, or they won't have GIFs, et cetera, et cetera. I think I covered, one of the major value props of Nextweave. And Inder, before you jump in, let me cover Conexit real quick. So for me, personally speaking, when it comes to Conexit, compared to other platforms, you have other platforms, which like Pabbly Connect, for the most part, is almost nothing but a webhook library. Then you have competitors like Integrately, which are both webhook and API libraries. Okay. Number two, the other limitations that you see with the other competitors, and for the most part, is they're not really set up for sub-accounts. They're not really set up for teammates. And so in the process, what's happened is, let's say Pabbly, like, it doesn't necessarily have the nicest UI. Pabbly and Integrately have very simplified workflow builders that are similar to Zapier. So everything is drop-down menu based, right? It's not like a drag and drop workflow builder that you clearly see in some marketing automation tools like, I don't know, Mailshake. What was another common one? Automizing. Like you would literally have like almost like a mind map, right, of your workflow. You know, Conexit has that built in. So, and we've seen that before last week where you had the first stage and that could go technically to 3 different apps on the second stage. Something like that where it's just easily done with drag and dropping certain fields doesn't exist on Integrately, doesn't exist on Pabbly Connect, definitely doesn't exist on Zapier. I think Integromat has something to that degree, but Integromat never did an LTD, right? So those are just some basic limitations there that I've covered from some competitors. I live in the space, guys. I'm obsessed with software, so sorry about that, and I apologize. Inder, Rakesh,
I think it's really fun. It's fun to set up the automations versus some of the other platforms. Definitely is. It's just like a satisfying experience to connect the little dots. I don't know what it is. Sorry.
No, I totally agree with you. It's satisfying when you're like, ah. Yeah.
Not quite like that, but yeah.
I know, but the clicking, right? For me, it's like I don't have to go through a drop-down menu and search through a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen triggers. Oh God, that's just annoying. And then it's boring. It's not easy to look at or fun to play with. It's almost like as if I'm playing with a puzzle. Like I'm literally we're building up the workflow. You don't want to have that, right? And so I miss companies when they don't have those visual builders. And that's something that to me stands out with Conexit that you guys have seen. Like, look how insane. I'll give you a perfect example. June, can you put up that Modic visual again?
Yeah, sure.
Did you guys see how insane that was?
I love I really
Give me a quick second.
Right.
Oh,
Harry Chung, awesome. Yes, exactly. I totally believe. One, Conexit flows well for folk already familiar with building chatbots. Exactly. Majority of your chatbot builders already have visualization builders or visual elements where they allow you to create like triggered workflows, right? So take a look at this. This is something that people already used to building. Mautic is an open source platform, and in this case, you can use it for marketing automation. Look how complex that is. Imagine doing that type of workflow and building it out through drop-down menus. You would literally go insane. You would go crazy. But because you have a visual, and thanks, June, for that. But because you have a visualization builder, it is so much easier for June and his team to visualize those elements. It's like, okay, I understand. I totally get what you're trying to say. Instead of trying to describe it, instead of saying everything is going to be built up with triggers and drop-down menus and workflows, that's a nightmare. He has a mind map. The complexity of his workflows could not have been completed or could not have even been fathomed without a mind map like that, without a visual workflow builder. So I would like to say thanks to Modic, whoever built that. But, you know, Rakesh, I have to say I appreciate that too. I honestly wish there was teammates, and I'd like that in the future. You already know that. We discussed that last week. But that's something that I would love to have with my automation workflows as well when I have clients and offer them a sub account. When I have teammates and I don't want to have to build that workflow every single time for a client, I would just like to offload that to some of my teammates or virtual assistants. That's something we discussed. I'm looking forward to that in the future. But Siddhartha, I hope that helps answer a little bit of your questions. Inder, Rakesh, I didn't mean to take up all the time there, soaking up all the oxygen, talking about those value propositions, but please go ahead. Something I didn't mention regarding your platform.
Thanks.
So Rakesh, I was just going to mention that while we are preparing the integrations, we've seen that most email platforms are also going into a flow-based model where you've got a visual workflow builder. And that's a very pleasing sight to see that an automation platform also has something similar. And which is why one of the requests I've made, Rakesh, is that if you can allow us to save those connects and make them available for other audiences to copy, then there's a very strong collaboration in the long term where we can create a lot of examples using Nextweave and then ask a community that you can just pick up this particular connect and use it at your end.
Definitely. We'll be coming up with a template model. Yeah. So to answer that question, thanks, Bruce. Thanks for bringing that in. we started Conexit as an we don't want to copy any of our other alternative or any of the things. So and we want that to happen. Keep it where things very simple. Where any layman or a business owner can actually do the complex automation. And also to add on to the Siddharth questions. So what we are exploring with a lot of inbuilt apps. And when we actually a lot of our alternative, they actually follow this elevated structure, but we as an birdview or a parallel structure, we are building it, and we are exploring more and more things when we add on kind of an inbuilt apps, and when we try to build, so how good or how robust it will make how like our tools. So that is what we ourselves are exploring as well. So the idea when we started is like to keep it simple, and that's what
And I have to say that visual builder that you have does bring a level of simplicity when it comes to building workflows and also speed that you don't see with the other competitors. That just doesn't exist. It's not there. And for that reason, I've told you guys, like, the very first time I looked at Conexit back in October, and then we had our meeting like a week or two later. I told my founder, Mr. Beck, I was like, I am in love with this. And, I'm going in and I'm playing with plug and pay triggers and workflows. And I was surprised how smooth, how fast it was. And it was different. It wasn't a drop down menu. It was a visual builder. And I was like, this is how automation marketing platforms should be done. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, Zapier totally missed the ball. Kudos to you, Connectit. Kudos to you, Rakesh, because you just put $1 billion company to shame. Kudos. I love it. I cannot see myself using anything else. Granted, I've invested in Integrately and in Pabbly Connect, obviously, but it's just the ease of use of building it just is not the same, nor is fun, because it doesn't feel like I'm playing.
It's much more fun. Yeah.
No, seriously, it feels like a puzzle. It really does. I can't guys, I'm literally sitting at a computer anywhere from 12 to 16 hours a day. And a lot of you guys see me, I'm doing live streams, I'm talking about software, like literally that's my life. So when I'm coming to testing something, I look for something refreshing. Rakesh, that was totally refreshing. Absolutely. And I'm not just saying that because it's like I'm hyping it up. Obviously, like Jim said, there's not much revenue, all that's going to the founders. I'm just speaking from a personal point of view. Like, I'm an avid, when I was testing it, I can say I'm an instant convert and avid user. Smooth, no difficulty, simple, and it feels like I'm playing a puzzle game. So thank you very much for that. And Sid, to answer your comment, he has all three tools also, but he was just curious about the possibilities, and I'm totally right there with you. That's how I was able, and I'm curious too, which is how I'm familiar with the tools that are competitors to Conexit and the tools that are competitors to Nextweave. I'm familiar with both platforms because I'm an avid fan. I'm an avid fan of both, and I'm like you. I'm looking forward to the team dynamic. I'm looking forward to SMTP and campaigns with Nextweave. I'm looking forward to white label with Nextweave too. That's what I'm eager. Cedric says, "Love Conexit, Rakesh. I hope you are patent with it or patient with it."
Patented.
Patented, I think.
Patented. Yeah, I think patented.
Patented. Yes, absolutely. If that's not already done by Integromat in terms of like workflow, like a visual workflow builder for marketing automation, I agree. Doing that, in the United States and in India, having a patent totally makes sense on it. 100% agree. Yeah. Okay, guys. On that note, I'm going to wrap it up. Very similar to last week, where we went almost 90 minutes. Love all the interaction. Everyone staying with us. We have 30 with you that have still stayed with us over the past 90 minutes. I appreciate that. So everyone who's on Reddit to my left, all the Facebook pages, all the Facebook groups of the Astronautics community, Conexit, Nextweave, the Bot Baba community, YouTube. Thank you very much for everyone who's on there. Guys, would you like to say anything before we let you go?
If anybody has any workflows that they want to see, just let me know, and I will put together a demonstration like I did today.
Perfect. There you go. All right, guys. Everyone, be safe. Wash your hands. Keep social distancing in mind, and look forward to seeing you next Thursday at the same time.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good one, guys. See ya.